Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful, sorry my delicious little babies, that's just my neighbour up the road, I do apologise. So I'm going to rewind and start again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you also, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful and super duper delicious, okay? And I hope that life is treating you super duper deliciously well. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, beam me up, my juicy little lads. Thank you, little lads. You're lovely and bright. Now then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any passers-by, and I hope that you too are having a super duper time wherever you are in the world, and that life is treating you also most deliciously. So much love to you all as well, my delicious little babies. Now then, so the weather in my neck of the woods in the old UK, the sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray, okay? Now then, very little wind. It has been raining last night, but it seems to be rather bright and a bit chillier than yesterday, okay? So it could be differing in other parts of the old UK, okay? So that's just the weather forecast for today, okay? Now then, so let's get into this. So if you do happen to enjoy my video today, if you could please click on the like. For others of you, you know, please feel free to subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Also, please feel free to leave a comment. And finally, if you'd like to share, you know, because, you know, knowledge is power, okay? Now then, so I want to get into this. So I've got 2 pieces of information today, but I want to start with this one, you know, to begin with this one, okay? Now, if you please go on to the old YouTube, the old space bar, please and thank you. And if you please type in President Putin slams the degeneracy, okay, of the collective West. So I shall just repeat that once again, my delicious little babies. President Putin slams the degeneracy of the collective West. Now, I've advertised this other gentleman before, okay, not in that way, okay. David Curtin, okay, so it's K-U-R, do you see what I mean? Not Curtin as how you would spell it, okay? And that's on YouTube, okay? So, and what it is, and he's got 19.1 now thousand subscribers, so that's really good. I'm really pleased about that, okay? So that's that, okay? Now then, so I've just listened to this. It's, what was it, over 7 minutes long, okay, before I came on to the old camera. And you see, the thing is, I see it like this, right? Now, Mr. Putin, yes? Now, I've said it before on other videos of mine over the months, yes? Now, I see him as being, this is just my thoughts with my old noddle, right? Now, I see him as being a very level-headed, if not in the world, you know, out of all of our putrid flipping governments and leaders, okay? But he seems to be very level-headed, okay? Now then, something coming to me old noddle yesterday evening. And I don't know if you all remember the films you had, I'm doing it in this order, my delicious little babies, yes, where you had Bruce Lee films. I mean, brilliant flipping films, you know. I mean, I haven't watched them for years. In fact, I don't really watch, do you know what I mean? I do not really watch films these days, really. But I'm going back to, you know, years ago, yes. A good, you know, couple of decades maybe, I'd say. But Bruce Lee, but apparently, I mean, he too, I mean, he apparently passed away, apparently, taking a paracetamol. Okay, my delicious little babies, please make of that as what you will. Anyway, so yeah, so number one, we've got Bruce Lee. Then, I don't know if you all remember, but there used to be a film as well called Karate Kid. Now, all these films, by the way, I do happen to enjoy. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, you know, decades ago, yes. And I'm sure I would still like them now. Do you see what I mean? But the Karate Kid, so, you know, when you look at, you know, these different films, if you know what I'm saying to you, I'm just, you know, wanting to give food for thought here, my delicious little babies. Now, finally, if we remember Jean-Claude Van Damme, where he was in, I cannot remember the name of the flipping film now, but what was happening was, because he was in this bar, right, and he's flipping dancing away, God bless him, right, you know, getting rather drunk, okay, but obviously that was not his normal, do you know what I mean? And then the next thing you know, he finds himself in a, you know, an old situation. Do you see what I mean? Where he's obviously got to take care of himself. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, you see, with Putin, you see, he's, you know, I don't know if it's karate or jiu-jitsu or something like that. Anyway, I've watched a lot of footage on this, okay, and months ago. So what I'm saying to you is that what he's doing is he's wanting to defend his country, and he's wanting to defend his man, woman and little bairns, children. Do you see what I mean? I would strongly suggest, my delicious little babies, okay, no matter what you think, okay, and that's not being rude or disrespectful now, no matter what you think or what's been pumped out from the putrid box in the corner of the room, okay, about Mr. Putin, okay, it doesn't matter how you dress it up with pretty, you know, red and yellow bows. The fact of the matter is that your man there is talking flipping complete common sense, because what's happened is here, we got it in our neck of the woods in the old UK, you know, where they're, do you know what I mean? They're twisting young little bairns' minds. Do you understand what I mean? I was also talking about as well, because Mr. Putin was talking about this, and I actually mentioned on another one of my videos, you know, where they were wanting to have, you know, our dear God Jesus Christ of Nazareth, our dear Creator, as gender neutral. Can you see, my delicious little babies, what I'm getting across to you? Do you see what I mean? You see, what it is, Putin does not want, is not a liking, you know, or wanting anything like that in his country. Well, what's wrong with that? All he's doing is defending. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But it seems that we seem to have one gentleman there, right, who seems to be, it's like bang, 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 bang. It's like kung fu here, kung fu there. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes? And it should not be that way. Now, other putrid leaders all over the world, the flipping putrid flipping governments, flipping twats and flipping prats they are, right? They should be looking at that dear gentleman, Mr. Putin. They should be looking at him, right? And they should say to themselves, you know what? Your man there is totally correct in what he's saying, and we should be adopting the same policies and everything in our own countries. But no. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Because they're either, you got many who have either been bought, okay, or there's skeletons in their closet that they do not want to, you know, the word to get out. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Or, you know, it's ka-ching, pounds, shilling, pence, dollars and change, greedy little hogs they are. Do you understand what I mean? Where they feel that they're far more superior than any of us. Well, they're flipping not. There are flipping servants. I've said it before and I'm saying it again, and I shall keep saying it until I'm blue in the old bird race. Do you see what I mean? But I strongly suggest, my delicious little babies, okay, even if you have the time to do it, to please listen to our Mr. Putin's speech, okay? Because at the end of the day, the fact is, none of us should have this projected onto us, but we know where it comes from. And then you see, if we was to have, say, for example, I said it before and I'm going to repeat again, if we was to have a situation where all of the, it's like, You know what I mean? It's like you drop your tools. Do you understand what I mean? And that's all the putrid governments around the world. Do you know what I mean? In our neck of the woods in the old UK and all over the world, they just drop their tools and say no. So if it means that, you know, they lose their jobs, or it means that they have a difficult time, well, that's the way life goes. Look what they've flipping done to all of us. Do you know what I mean? But they should stand in their own power and they should say no. Because I've said it before over the months and I'm going to repeat this again. You see, they're doing the dirty work for we know who. They're doing the dirty work all over the world, right? But what they're failing to understand here, and this is where, hello, dong dong, no common sense, it seems, right? What they're failing to understand is that, you see, if the putrid, yes, who we know who, right, are wanting to do this to all of us, and, you know, and with lots of different things they've been doing, okay, over the decades, right, then they can do it to the putrid governments as well. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So really the government should be standing on our side all over the world, globally. Do you see what I mean? But instead, all that they and their putrid lackeys wanted to do was point the finger at our Mr. Putin there, our Putin, right? Point the finger at him, right, that he's in the wrong. Well, no, he's not in the flipping wrong. At the end of the day, we do need to protect our little bairns. Do you understand what I mean? I've been talking over the months, you know, that little bairns should be little bairns. They should be able to grow up, being free, be happy. Do you understand what I mean? Not live this shite. Do you know what I mean? And what about man and woman out there having flipping, I'm not being nasty or disrespectful, you know, having sex changes and doing all this and taking all these putrid flipping medications? Do you see what I mean? What kind of world is this? Do you see? But it's a world that they want to create. But you see, at the end of the day, you know, I just feel here that, you know, there's certain, and in certain countries, you know, and one must also remember as well that when you're pointing one finger, there are three pointing straight flipping back. Do you see what I mean? But these and the putrid lackeys are not wanting Putin, Mr. Putin, right, to be seen in a decent light. No. Do you see what I mean? Now, as you know throughout my videos, for those of you beautiful and delicious little babies out there, as you know from me, I will defend Mr. Putin. Yes, I will. In fact, you know, I wish that we had, you know, really good, decent business gentlemen, you know, not in that way, but to be in our country and in other countries. Do you see what I mean? Where we just put our foot down and we flipping say damn well no. Do you know what I mean? We're just not putting up with this. And really, the schools, everything should be banged to rights. Nobody should be sending their little bairns to school. Do you know what I mean? I know it's difficult. See my ears buzzing now, like that when I've just said it. You see what's happening is I know it's difficult because when you've got some parents, God bless, you know, I've been there myself, you've got to go out and work. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, if you look in the old pandemic, you know, there were lots, and I was seeing lots of videos actually of this, where, you know, you was having mum and dads, God bless them, teaching the young bairns that's, you know, that were meant to be going to school at home. Do you see what I mean? And the young bairns were learning an awful lot more, a hell of a lot more. Do you see what I mean? But there was not being indoctrinated with this shite. Do you see? No, yes, I mean, I know that some would say, and of course, our Mr. Putin there was talking about same-sex marriages. You know, at the end of the day, what ones, you know, some cannot help who they are, so I'm not being rude and I'm not being disrespectful here, but sometimes we need to discuss, and this is a time to discuss. At the end of the day, okay, same-sex marriages, yes? I'm not saying about all, no I am not. But if we look at and listen to, over the years, right, some, I'm not talking about all, so please do not take me the wrong way here, right? But some have then either adopted or fostered or whatever, yes, young little bairns or young little babies, only to find that they've been abused. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen with man and woman. I'm not saying that. But we need to bring it back in the world to a place where, you know, there isn't all of this putrid indoctrination of things, yes, to turn and twist others' minds. This is what I'm saying, you know, and I totally agree. You know, if you want to do something behind closed doors, I mean, obviously I've said before and I say it again, there are things in the world that must never be tolerated under any circumstance. But at the end of the day, you know, if you've got, you know, somebody's gay or somebody's, do you understand what I mean? Then that's how it rocks and rolls. That's what they are. You know what I mean? If they do not fancy a man or they do not fancy a woman, well, that's the way it is, isn't it? Yes. But at the end of the day, so I'm not by any means, in case that's what anybody feels, my delicious little babies, that I'm saying nasty things about anyone who's gay or anything like that. No, I'm not. But we need to get back to a world, okay, somehow, where we're not having all of this nastiness projected on us, because at the end of the day, these, right, and the putrid little lackeys, right, you see what has gone on in their lives. I've said it before and I say it again, where they have such a hatred for all of us. Do you understand what I mean? And yes, it's all control, programming. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But at the end of the day, all of this putridness which has been put onto us, yes, it needs to be undone. And I do understand that it will take time. But I just feel that more should be listening to our Mr. Putin speeches. Because you see, your man there is talking complete common sense. Do you see what I mean? Which is I've known long time. Do you know what I mean? And for who I am associated with, they've known for a long time. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, my delicious little baby friends, my delicious little baby daughters? Do you understand what I mean? They've known a long time as well. But surely to goodness, it's in everybody's flipping boat races now. If they cannot see where those, right, the putrid and the putrid little lackeys are wanting to take this. I mean, can they not see? Flipping crackers and crazy. And one last thing I want to say before I come off this video, my delicious little babies, thank you very much for listening to me. I've flipping gone home in minutes again. So yes, I really strongly suggest that you listen, you know, with David Curtin and everything, because he puts the speech there for you to read. And our Mr. Putin is done telling it the way it is. Good on him. Good on you, Mr. Putin. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, there's a dear elderly gentleman up the road, right? And I was telling him at the start of this, you know, with the old, you know, jab, jab, jabs, jibby jabs, right? And I was saying to him, please, God, I beg you with the Lord of mercy. Lovely gentleman. I said, elderly gentleman. I said, do not, under any circumstance, take anything. Now, he's a dear gentleman who's like, as you know, well, as fit as a fiddle. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes? Anyway, so I've noticed in the past week, haven't I? And, you know, and I mentioned it twice to him, you know. And I've noticed in the past week, it's like he's walking really, really slow. He's not driving his car as much as he used to. Okay, and I mean, he looks over at me as well. You know, not in that way, but he looks over at me, you know. Can you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, yes? So all you try to do is flipping damn well help. But did many of them out there listen? No. And that's not being nasty. This is a level of brainwashing, do you see what I mean? So what Mr. Putin's saying is that he wants his country and his population in his country to be safe and well. What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. But yet our putrid flipping governments in our neck of the woods in the old UK, they want to keep the flipping war going in Ukraine, because we all know why. Ka-ching! Right, pound, shilling, pence, dollars and change, right? And what has somebody got on them anyway? Do you know what I'm saying to you? Yes? And then, of course, you know, and now we're seeing the suffering. And, of course, you know, you are getting other platforms and everything who are mentioning this. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But as far as I'm concerned, too many know now. But we've got to start now, you know, really pushing back on this. Because otherwise we're going to have one flipping, and I'm not joking, as if it isn't flipping sick already, we're going to have one flipping damn well sick flipping society. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? Because it'll drive some insane. God bless them. Anyway, my video wasn't meant to hurt or offend in any way. I've gone well over my minutes, but I'm seeing the depression. I'm seeing it on a flipping damn well daily basis. Where ones who used to smile it's like they just do not smile anymore. They're walking slow. It's not just a dear gentleman up the road, it's others. You know, it's the changes. There was a song, wasn't there? Changes. Okay? So I'm going to leave it like that, my delicious little babies. So for those of you out there, even if you're so very kind to even listen to my video, or even click on a like or subscribe to me or leave me a comment or share my video, you know, please and thank you for doing that. And so much love to you all, and please continue to feel the love, okay? And please have a super duper delicious time wherever you are in the world, but please look after one another, and please tell, you know, some of your friends, some of your family, some of your work colleagues that they're super duper wonderful, super duper beautiful, and super duper delicious, and that you love them, okay? So until my next video, you know, I'm just pointing things out, and it's the truth. But very sadly, you will get some out there who just do not want to listen to the truth. And how sad is that? Awfully sad. Anyway, so until my next video, my delicious little babies, God bless you, okay? Much love. I didn't mean any offence to anybody, okay? Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.